We've missed you, Aline. How you been?
Sorry. Yes, I've been well. Thank you. How about you guys?
Excellent. I know we had Rosh Hashanah and then there was something the next
Bunch
week.
of
So, any,
holidays and
yeah,
then
anytime
I
you can
had
make it. Steve, you're in the
so
dark
much.
there. There you go. Steve, you just,
No.
from the dark to the light.
I was waiting. Is somebody going to come with a costume tonight? I was
You
almost
know
going to do
what?
it.
It's so funny. I ordered some spooky glasses on Amazon and I finally, after 3 weeks, I canceled them. They must have been coming from
Oh,
China.
there we go.
So Tim's
Tim's
going. I
got
don't know
it.
what he's going as, but with those glasses on. What's your costume, Tim? You're muted.
Muted.
Maybe that's intentional.
I'm a mute bug.
That's good.
Yeah, I had these big buggy eye glasses I was going to wear, but Amazon screwed it up.
The fly.
Amazon
What's
didn't
that?
come through. Got to pay extra if you want it same day.
No, we do. Yeah, we have the same day, but sometimes stuff comes out of China that takes. It's
Yes,
either like 8 hours or 3 weeks. It's like there's no in between.
it's so true.
Yeah,
It's so true.
yeah.
I fall into that trap. I was getting my daughter something, and then they said, if you for $25, you can get it the same day. And I was like, I'm so close. I might as well order something else.
You know, we've only had it happen once, but there was something Pam ordered that she paid $17 and it said returns. She tried to return it, but you had to return it to China. It was going to be like $52 to return it, even though it came through Amazon. So that's why I always look to see free
Yeah.
returns. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, definitely. You want
Well,
mhm.
that should be the topic of our call: how to make money on Amazon, or how to take advantage.
Great idea, Jim.
Thank you. I see we
It's
got Alyssa's
completely in
got
line with all the leads.
it is. Alyssa's got her orange background,
Very cute.
which is very cool. All I could come up with is an orange shirt.
That's pretty
Kind of
good.
boring.
How you doing, Aline?
I'm doing well, Tim. Thank you. It's nice to be back.
Yep. Haven't seen you for a bit. Good to see your face.
I think what did I miss? More than one. I missed last week, but the week before I was there, it was just kind of like on and off the camera, unfortunately, because I was traveling. But
Yeah, Steve said you're in rehab or something. I don't know.
yeah.
You know how he
Thanks,
is. I don't
Steve.
trust him
Thank-
anyway.
I didn't.
Thanks so
I-
much for revealing.
Steve ran into her at rehab. That's how.
No,
That's what she
yeah.
was saying.
Well, if anybody needs rehab, it's probably me. Right? Combat force. Exactly right.
Oh, that's good. That was good.
You guys
Thank
are
you.
So,
Thank you very
Aline,
much.
how'd your property fare outside of Naples?
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that again.
How'd your property fare outside of Naples?
In Naples.
Right, in
Oh,
Naples, okay.
Yeah. No, thank
Yeah,
goodness.
how'd you do
It's
through both
fine.
storms?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We
Hang on.
lost power. I was told I wasn't there, but I was told we
Right.
lost power, but then it was
Yeah,
fine.
okay, good. I'm glad that
Thank
was,
you.
you're not like debris laden like so many other people.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay. I'll have Pam read. Oh, that's okay. Thank you for trying. All right. Bye.
Um, so I actually have a question today.
Awesome.
Yeah. Should I preview it here?
Sure. What is it?
So with the probate, I have a lot of clients that I recommend estate sales to, and then the clean out, those two hand in hand. So it happens to be that my sister is in estate sale. She's been doing it for 25 years. And it's a little bit like of a slippery slope. I go back and forth whether I even say that this is my sister, because I don't want them to think like just trying to give business to a family member, although it's always worked out. And then the other side is that if they ever find out, whether on social media or something like that, it comes out somehow. So when you know somebody, or I know if like you have a relationship, meaning you have some vested interest in it, right? Like a partner or something, that's easy enough to reveal. But that an interesting question or an odd question to ask? Or-
Bring it up. There's no good, but no odd, no
Hey,
odd.
I think
Alyssa, it's three
okay.
after. Let's let him in the room,
Why wouldn't
please.
you have, why wouldn't you be more than one deep on that capability?
For some reason, is it me? I'm not hearing you that clearly, Steve. What'd you say? Can you repeat that?
Why
Yeah,
wouldn't you be more
we
than
got
one
the
deep?
people, got people coming in too.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't mean to stop talking about it. I'm just saying, maybe
No.
let's observe it and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it with the group as well.
I
Yes,
think being more
absolutely.
than one deep is good. Why wouldn't you want to be more than one deep?
Hey, John Scheffler, you just look too cheerful to be on this call. Either that or we caught you at a good moment in the middle of a laugh. He came on and he was just grinning ear to ear. So must be happy to be here.
Now you ran them away.
No,
Where
he
did
put
you
up
go?
he put up a regular picture. All right. We'll let everybody come in, get comfortable, and I think everybody is seated. Alyssa, let's turn on the recording, please.
She went trick-or-treating.
Yeah. Alyssa, recording, please.
There you go.
Welcome to our spooktacular agents and investors nationwide. Today is Halloween, October 31st, 2024. And this is All the Leads Mastermind podcast number 502. I know you all are disappointed. I had some crazy glasses I was going to wear, but Amazon didn't get them here on time. So I'm just going as myself. I got nothing this week, Tim. What would you like to open with, please?
Well, I wore my glasses, I figured I could do that, something to honor All Hallows Eve. No, I don't have a lot of exciting stuff to talk about this week either. We're kind of ending up the month, and I think everybody's probably on. If you're like me, I'm sure you're on election overload, and hope this is looking forward to all this being over this time when we get together soon. So I'm excited about that for certain. Scott, to get to you in just a second. Thanks for raising your hand, bud. So just quickly to point out, we certainly do want to hear from you. This is your call. It's all about you to do that. And my app continues to change a little bit, but from time to time, the where to go find it goes away. It's gone off mine now, but in the react button with the heart on my screen, it says raise hand. That's where you find it. Easy way to look for it. Sometimes it said raise hand before, but now it's all, I think, under react. If you want to be called on to talk, ask a question, tell us about something good that's happened, yell at Jim. It's always good for you to yell at Jim. I like it when you do that.
Yep.
So you can raise your hand to do that at any point, or just interrupt if you'd like to do that.
I've been married for 38 years, so I'm used to it. So
I know you're impervious. I'm trying to find some new way to get it done, but anyway, it's all about you. We've got a couple of people with their hands up, and we'll just get started. I haven't heard from Bruce. I don't know if Bruce is off in the wilderness today or not, but we're off to the races here. Scott, what's up, man? Unmute yourself there, buddy.
I'm trying to get back to this screen. Anyway, yeah, I got some great costumes. I was trying to find them, but I can't put them on. They're on my phone. So anyway, I have a listing agreement signed with a client that his mom passed away, and that's the last parent. So they basically want to sell the property. They have all the wills, they have everything in place. I'm trying to avoid probate because I don't know why it needs to go to probate. So we're trying to get the personal representative that was named in the will, who's a sister of the deceased, who doesn't want anything to do with it. And my client is the son, so he's, right there, ready to handle everything. All the kids are on board. And I'm thinking that I need to get this person to relinquish her responsibility as the PR before I can really get it signed by the right people, because I don't think they have the legal authority to sign if they're named in the will as the inheritance of of the property and everything. But it's the PR that I'm concerned about getting, because doesn't a PR have to sign the document if they're named as the PR? And I need to get her name off. I don't know what form to use. The title company I'm using doesn't have a clue. The people really don't have money. I'm trying to figure out do they have to get an attorney to handle that part of it?
Why is there a PR? Is that what they were named in the will?
Yeah, the father died, unfortunately, this year. Then the mother died 6 months later. So the PR was initially the brother of the deceased, the woman, the mom. Then he passed away, and then now it's the sister. So it's named very orderly in the will and everything. I've got the wills, I've got the death certificates, I've got everything. I'm just ready to put it on the market. But now I'm thinking, okay, how do I get my client, the son, who is inheriting that with his brother and sister, authority to sign everything? Like get the PR
What
out
is
of
the
it.
relationship? Who is the PR deceased?
No, but the first one was, but there was a backup in the will that said if this it's to pass to this person. This person who's the PR is a sister of the deceased, but she has no interest in it. She'd be happy to give up
Oh,
the
okay. That was what
responsibility.
I was trying to get to. It's not a
Yeah.
contentious issue. You just need to get it handled, right?
Yeah, I don't know, unless I have them hire an attorney to draft something up. I mean, this lady's ready to sign on the line to say, here, you can have it. Now we've got the PR as my client, which is going to be a piece of cake. I'm just afraid if I put it on the market without that done, or do I have time to do it by the time it closes that the PR is ready?
Why
Because
do
then
you,
it's technically
Sounds-
signed.
just real quick, Jim, why do you, if the PR is happy and she's acting in good faith about the kids that are supposed to inherit it, why do you need to replace her? Just have her do it.
She doesn't even have internet. We're gonna have to mail a form to her to even sign it. She doesn't want to do it. She just
I
was
get
named it, and now she's like, I don't want to deal with this. So we don't want her on there. We want to give up that authority to the son, who's my client already. I've already worked with him before.
You're gonna have to get the court involved to do it for sure. You gotta.
Yeah, I was going to say, Scott, what made you think that you would not? In any case, I think you would need to go through probate. The only way you avoid probate is if it's
Yeah.
in a trust. So, and if it's not in a trust, it doesn't matter, who you're dealing with. What you would do, you'd have to go through probate and then probably have the probate attorney that files a petition to change executors, which should be pretty much automatic, I think, if everybody agrees. But I don't see how you're going to get that done without going through probate. I really don't.
Well, that's what I was trying to avoid, because that's just going to delay things. They've got a reverse mortgage that's due on death, and now I'm dealing with, I don't have authority, but I called the lender and said, hey, we're going to put the house on the market. I'm their agent, and I had the loan number and stuff, but they have a balance and they got to take care of this. So I don't want to get it in probate. I don't know why it has to go to probate, but I'm not,
It's the law.
Scott, yeah, Scott, it sounds to me like it's great to wear a lot of hats and be multifaceted for your client, but at the same time, you may be crossing over the line of law where you don't want to get yourself there. You don't want to start making legal suggestions to your client when you're not an attorney, right? I'm assuming you're not an attorney.
no, I just play one on TV. No,
Yeah.
I'm not
I
giving
do
legal, I'm not really giving legal advice. I'm just acting as their agent. But again,
Yes. But
I
just
might be making a
careful.
mistake because I'm thinking I can put it on the market and avoid probate,
Right.
because we've got a lack of probate affidavit signed.
Okay, but the thing is that you're getting into a bit of red tape with the sister or the person who's right now appointed a personal representative and doesn't want it. And in order for her to sign that off, you need to have legal documents in place. And
All right.
in all honesty, in your zealousness and wanting to get it on the market and get it sold, you will, but just take a few steps back to get further faster. The steps of getting it probated, getting the letter of testamentary and switching it over it does not need to take that long necessarily. It seems like you're in communication with the family, they trust you, you've done a lot of, work for them right now. I would just take the proper measurements, get them the right attorney, and I genuinely believe you'll move forward much faster that way. You can
Yeah,
talk about,
I don't have a rebate. I don't have any attorney set up in that area for anybody. So,
Where are you,
So-
I
where are
don't
you
know if they have
located?
one.
getting,
Where are you and where's the property?
I'm in, Linwood, but it's Washington, Seattle area. So it's Renton. But,
Hey, you,
I'm gonna see if they even have an attorney because they might have talked to an attorney. They're having trouble getting the mail because it's not being delivered, and we don't know if there's certified mail at the post office. They won't even give it to them because it's not actually going to the house. Somehow it got rerouted from not being able to be delivered to a vacant house, which and it took a while because we were going to do a Curbio deal on it and rehab it and sell it for more money, but that's going to take 6 months and 250,000. And the net might be the same doing it as an investor deal. So they're the ones that were kind of freaking out because they're getting notices from the lender saying, hey, this is due on death because it's a reverse and there is a balance. So you can't take the home, but I don't know all the laws. So I'm trying to.
oh, here's the thing. If you get the right attorney would put together a conference with the judge and all parties and
Mhm.
potentially be able to settle this out without doing it. You just need to get the right attorney to go do that. And you're in a state where there are a lot of things like this that get handled because there are a lot of rural properties and things like this where there are hair on them. And what you need is an all parties conference with the judge that's part of this, have the attorney put it together, get the sister involved in it, at least get her to sign off on a waiver document saying, I don't want to do this anymore. Let all of the other parties do it, show that the property only has the one outstanding, I'm assuming it's correct, the only outstanding lien against it is the reverse, right? Is that correct?
There's a very small lien for one of the brothers who didn't pay a bill, but that's minor. That's like 1,500 bucks. But
Is that one of the brothers that inherits?
yeah,
Okay, so it's in the estate, so that could get settled out at closing as well. It just reduces his share by that. Get a document together that says, here's how the proceeds get split. Find an attorney, sit down with the attorney, and put the conference together, and you can probably get this thing done without a big hassle.
And Scott, if I could just add, you can create urgency with the family that, hey, yeah, the reverse mortgage could foreclose. My wife has done a ton of short sales with reverse mortgages. Almost, I've never seen one that didn't give you at least a 6 month period. Sometimes it's a year to sell the property. It may be due, but they're not going to get foreclosed before.
luckily I was able to talk to the lender and say, look, I understand you can't give me, but I had the loan number, I had everything. He gave me all the documents and stuff to sign for letter of intent. I got all three kids to sign the letter of intent. He told me, hey, it's 6 months, and if you need an extension, it's up to a year. So
Yeah,
we got that fire taken care of, that they're not freaking out about it.
good.
Okay, but a probate attorney should I look for or not?
Probate, family
Yes.
law, anybody, actually, in your case, you want somebody who's advertising as probate.
Okay,
And Scott, if there's more than one, try to find one that'll take their payment at the closing. A good majority of them will. They're not, a lot of them don't require any money up front if they know they're going to get paid in the
all
back.
right, perfect. I was like, yes, let's avoid probate at all costs.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, then go back 5 years and set up a trust, and you could do that. But
Well,
at this, yeah,
yeah, there was not any hurry in the beginning because, as their realtor, I kind of showed them like, okay, here's as is value, but if we do X, Y, and Z, and I'll bring the contractors in to take a look, get a quote, the ARV is this, and oh, that's more money for us. That's great. Well, and then it became a 26-week project with permitting and now he's like, I'm thinking as many investors that are looking for nice houses in a good area that can be rehabbed on their own dollar, I might sell it for 100 grand over list, just selling it as is. So, and the net would be the same. But I was kind of trying to do it before the holidays. If not, I wait till January. So I knew I needed to jump on this call for this because I was biting off a little bit more than I could chew.
Yep.
All right, man. Great question. Thanks for asking. Appreciate it.
And he gets
Hit the
one
button.
more thing too, is he'll get an opportunity to bring an attorney, a client. And that's a referral that you're going to be able to bring. And who knows, that attorney may have other referrals for you later on in the future. So go look at it that way, because you're
Good
bringing
point.
something to him. You're not going with your hat in your hand trying to get something. No, hey, I'm bringing you a client.
Especially if there's some room in there at settle. I mean, he could, to get the hair off this, he could settle it, say, if you can get this done expeditiously, that's what we're looking for. That's what I'm willing to pay for. And give him an incentive to do that. That way, find somebody who's got the ability to work the court system, find a way to do the things that need to get done, and say, we think we can get a buyer and get this thing done before the end of the year. That's what I'm trying to accomplish. Get it done, buddy. All right? Nod. You're muted again, Scott. I'm sorry, bud. You're muted again.
I know, but I couldn't unmute myself.
I did
So yes, I would normally use the word executor, but in this state, they're starting to say personal representative. So I don't know what that, it's so politically correct here. It's ridiculous. You can't say certain things anymore. And it's like, what? But anyway,
Well,
All right,
terms
bud.
are interchangeable. It's just what the lawyer used in the will. That's all.
Exactly. It doesn't, they all mean the same thing.
I know that, but some people are saying, oh, you got to use personal representative instead of executor, even though it might say that.
Hey,
That's because somebody commented executor question mark. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the right answer. All right, bud. Go get him. Good luck. Keep us posted. Thank you. All right. Matt, I saw your hand up, but I'm going to take Kristen unless you have something germane to this conversation. If you don't, we're good. Okay. Kristen, what's up?
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good.
So I've got a probate property under contract that we've been trying to close for a couple months. I'm just trying to get understanding for future reference. So this has 4 heirs on the house, and 2 of them have child support judgments that popped on the title search. So we've been working through, the back and forth process of trying to get the right people from child support to do a settlement agreement. And I'm just curious from you all how you've handled this in the past. Do you just wait until it's done? Do you know any ways to get to the right people to get it done? Because we were going to wholesale this, so we had an end buyer, and it's been 2 or 3 months since the original estimated closing date. So they're like, we want a reduction because it's taking so long to close, and this is really out of our hands. So just curious from the experts how you all have handled these cases when the child support judgments have shown on the property and you have multiple heirs.
What state are you in?
Kristen, did you hear him? What state?
There
are
it
you
is. Yeah, I was muted. Virginia.
Hey, Bruce, you're on here, bud. Hang on a second.
Bruce is muted.
And just a little more context. So their proceeds split would not cover their full child support payoff. So we have to get, them to agree to a reduced amount to at least take the judgment off, and they would continue to be responsible outside of the property.
Who's the judgment on it? So how many heirs and which heir has the judgment?
It's 2 heirs, it's 4 heirs, 2 brothers, 2 sisters. So the 2 brothers have the judgments.
Both of them.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Sounds like a family issue.
Hereditary.
Yeah. And how have the judgments attached to the house? I don't understand how the judgments have attached to the property if this is in an estate. Do you know? Unless
Yeah,
I'm missing.
because they got named as heirs on the house.
Got it. Is the property still in the estate, or is it
Yes.
Is it directly connected to them? Okay, it's still in the estate.
Yeah. So what happened, it was quite messy. So the administrator, she filed a list of heirs first, and then she filed probate. So they're all listed as owners on the house. So I would assume when that happened, these judgments may have attached at that point.
And there's equity.
Yes.
So I think we need to communicate with the family court system and potentially the I guess baby mamas, and get them to shift the debt somewhere else, maybe attach it to the estate and not the real estate.
Mm.
They still wouldn't have enough to cover it though. I mean, all they had in the estate is the house. So when you
So in California, what you would do is you would contact the counties, whoever is responsible for collecting the child support. So like in Marin County, it's the district attorney. You send them a closing statement, you send them a copy of the will, the trust, whatever documents that shows what percentage everyone's going to get.
Mhm.
And a lot of times they'll give you a partial lien release for that property, asking for all the proceeds that person's entitled to. That's how I've seen it go down in California.
Okay, yeah,
good.
I think that's, I don't think it's the district attorney. I think we've called child support so many times and went up there that they finally called us back like an actual case manager. So she gave us an attorney to work with. But that was just on Tuesday. So I'm hoping we get somewhere with that approach and that they would have to, give up their proceeds. But it has been a mess because they did receive a letter from child support, one of them saying that it was a much lesser amount, like $5,000 to release the lien, but he actually owed $64,000. So it's just depending on who we talk to, it was going all over the place. So I just like to know for future reference, what are those right steps I can help advise the family to make sure they're taking so it doesn't take so long to get through the process.
Yeah, Christian, I just have a question. Did you say that the amounts are more than what the value of the property is?
Yes, one of the brothers is 64,000 and the other is 20,000. So their proceeds combined between the four of them was going to be about 80,000, not even 80,000. So they might have got 14,000 each.
I see.
Roughly.
So because I was going to ask you, I mean, I don't know if this could happen, but based on what you're saying, probably not to close an escrow. But I guess because the amount is greater than what then that's probably not an option. Sometimes these things are hard to avoid beforehand. A lot of the times, I mean, you can ask as many questions as possible, but a lot of times, sometimes things unfold as the deal progresses. So not necessarily anything that you did wrong at all, for sure. It's just frustrating because it's a bit of a, going through all this red tape.
And
Yeah.
Kristen, I was going to say, it sounds like you're on the right track, but to avoid having to do so much of this yourself in the future, try to find the most experienced title company you can in your market and that's been through this before, and let them handle it for you. A lot of them will do it for the ability to close the deal if you find the right company.
Yeah, I use one I used before and yes, I don't know that they have dealt with this before because it just seems to be dragging out. So I was trying to help them where I could because the child support folks would not talk to them even after everyone signed the release. They still they wanted to only talk to the attorney, not to anyone else in her office because her name was on the letterhead. So it's been an interesting experience, but okay, thank you. I just wanted to get some insight if there was any best practices that could be taken, lessons
I
learned.
feel like what Bill said, and of course that's not ridiculously clear and easy, but to me it's just very bizarre that these would attach to the house and not their portion of the overall estate. That's very bizarre to me because those brothers, they don't personally own the house. It's the estate that owns the house. So I don't know why
Yeah.
why judgments would attach to the house. So I think doing what Bill said and getting essentially the brothers lose their portion.
Yeah.
And hey, Tim, Lee, Alyssa says that Lisa has been through this and wants to speak. If we can unmute
Yes.
her. I don't see her. Is your hand up, Lisa?
Nope, I couldn't see how to get my hand up. I do
Okay, you're
apologize.
good.
But
You're good. Go ahead.
I'm also in Virginia. I'm actually in Virginia Beach. I just had this not too long ago. And what happens here in Virginia is if you have any judgments, whenever they go to do title, if you have judgments, then those judgments have to be satisfied before you could sell the real estate. So they have to be satisfied. And in my particular case, it was a car. So it was a sister and brother. The brother owed about 16,000, I think, on the car, and his share of the proceeds was only about maybe 6,000. So what happened was the attorney reached out to the dealership that had the lien and said, "Hey, he's trying to sell a house. He's not able to pay. He's not able to pay you what he owes. Are you able to release the debt? And he gives you some off of the proceeds, and then you guys can draft something else that says that he owes you the rest of the money." And that's what they did. So he gave, I think, about $3,000, I think half of his proceeds to them. And then they redrafted something that says that he still owed the rest of the money and what the payments will look like.
Great.
Okay. Well, thanks. I'm actually in Chesapeake, so if you could share your information, I'd love to connect with you.
She probably Lisa's back on mute.
But I'm sure she heard you if you want.
Okay, I heard, yes. I heard.
All
Yes,
right.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you all.
You bet. And thank you, Lisa. Thanks for helping there. Hey, Matt, I saw you had your hand up there, bud. What's up?
Yeah, so with it being Halloween, I wanted to, and I'm going to steal this from Jody because he sent me this before I talked to him. I have a scary good offer for anyone that wants calling services. And so we're going to offer this through basically today only. $3. So we went from $9.95 a lead when we first got started. We're down to, we now are offering it for less, but $3 a lead for anyone who is wanting help with setting appointments, or wants nurturers or people that we isolate and identify from your list. It's a minimum of 300 leads. We will charge $3 a lead to call your lead up to 10 times. All of our guys are from the States. We also offer training so that you can get the best out of those opportunities. And we can also do future-based pricing. One of the aha moments I had is a lot of people are like right at the cusp of the perfect number of leads that they need to have in order for them to get results. So this is perfect for somebody who has 12 months of leads, or they've got 5 months and they just never called them. They've sent them letters, but never made the calls. So yeah, I mean, $3 a lead, it's like a 60% discount. So I'm taking calls even during trick or treating. My wife's not thrilled about it, but it's okay. But I told her, hey, I'm gonna open this up, and yeah, my team will be around too. So wanted to make sure that everyone knows if you want someone to call your leads for you, even on like a temporary basis, we're here to help.
Well, that's great. Thanks, man. And
Yeah.
thanks, Cody, for beating Matt with a baseball bat. I always appreciate it when you do that.
Yep.
Guys, they've done it. They do a great job, and we're tickled to have them as a partner. And Matt is always very faithful to be here and very transparent about what they do. And our folks are having great success with them. So we could be happier to have you do that. And that is a ridiculously inexpensive thing. And towards the end of the call, I'll add one other little sweetener that we're doing as well. So stick around before we get off. I'll also give you a little Thanksgiving trick or treat thing for your basket as well. Holy, I see you got your hand up there, buddy. We didn't ignore you. What's up?
Hey everybody, how's everybody doing?
Everybody's great. What's up, man?
Yeah, I just had a general question, a two-part question. So I'm reviewing kind of the court documents, and I see that there's some families going through probate that have no personal property or no real estate property. And so I'm kind of confused of why that is. And for the families that only have personal property, are they even worth pursuing? Because I'm not trying to get the keys to the Cadillac like Bruce. So I just wanted to see what your opinion was.
Depends on what the property is.
What the personal property is, you mean?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you don't know
Mhm.
what it is without, without asking the question. You don't know what it is.
And Coley, don't be too quick to assume just because you can't find it that there isn't some property there.
Right.
You might be,
Mhm.
you might be, we hear that a lot, like when somebody's dying, they may have already deeded the house over to a relative and the rest of the stuff's got to go into probate and they still have something they want to sell. So,
Mhm.
don't, that happens more often than you might think. I would still make the call and ask them, you can always ask them and if they do, then other people may have screened them out too. You may have less competition on those. If the real estate's kind of hidden, it might have been in a trust or it might have already been deeded over.
Where, Coley, I
Mhm.
Coley, where are you
forget
searching?
what state are you in?
I'm in California, so I've been going to the court and just looking at the dockets, and then I'm seeing like, oh, to see the estimated value of their property, to see if they have any real estate property in the first place, and to see if it's worth keeping them on my mailing list.
I understand. What my question was, is there a minimum amount? And I forget, what's the minimum
Mhm.
amount that has to be probated in California? That may tell you your answer. There may be a dollar threshold that if the estate
Mhm.
is worth X dollars or more, it has to be probated. Every estate doesn't have to be. If there's,
Mhm.
California doesn't require them all to be, but you might want to find out what that minimum dollar amount is and know that if it is in probate, it's in excess of that. Bill, do you know the answer to that question? I don't.
Yes, it's 30,000.
So you can assume that there's at least $30,000. Well, you don't have to assume that it's there, but at least that could be a requirement that it was $30,000 or more, which is why it's being probated. So it may be worth it, but like Jim said, ask questions, you got to lead, go after it.
Hey, Bill, what's the why is it 30,000 and not 184,500? So what in
Mhm.
California, what would the difference be between the small estate 184.5 and the 30,000 be?
So the thing is they just look to see how much money are they going to get, right? So if it's under 30,000, there's odds are there's no taxes, no nothing. They don't want to go through probate. They don't want to have any expense to it. That's the theory on it.
So that's basically cash. So
Yeah.
if there's nothing there, it's just 30,000 or less in cash, no probate.
That is true. I had a mobile home I sold for $29,900 to avoid that. Yes.
Yeah. So Coley, there is frequently real estate hidden. Maybe it was transferred on death, maybe it was a beneficiary asset, maybe rights of survivorship. So make the call because there might be real estate. Otherwise, I'm with you. As much as I like the keys to the Cadillac, I'm in this for real estate. If I happen to find a Cadillac or something that I want, great. I'm not going to pursue it, and I generally scrub leads out that don't have any real estate. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think you have to have the conversation before you make the determination.
Mhm. Okay, so still go after it. I was just confused, like when I'm seeing the $0 for real estate and personal property, I was just like, why is this even going through probate? So that's where I got kind of confused.
So
Yeah.
remember we've said all along, Coley, every time you ask something, and you're good at
Mm,
doing it, so I'm not chiding
mm,
you for this, but
mm,
ask questions, bud, ask questions.
mm.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks, guys.
So, the last thing I want to say is in California, Prop 19 is making more and more people with wealth put their properties in a corporation or some transfer of stock because that doesn't trigger a new property tax basis. Remember, in
Mhm.
California, unless you're going to own or occupy it, you can't inherit their tax basis. So a phone call is the best way to find out what's going on, right? And it's a number, dial it. It's not a problem.
Okay, good
Appreciate
to
it.
go, Coley?
Yep, thanks.
All right. Kesha, I understand you couldn't find the the raise your hand button, but you had something you wanted to ask. I've unmuted you. What's up?
Yes, thank you so much. I have a question. I'm dealing with a PR or executor of an estate. And there are 15 heirs. So this is a little messy. All the heirs have agreed that they don't want to have anything to do with the property. She was the caretaker of the two uncles that were living in the house, and the deed, was in their names. They basically passed away like months of each other. And she started the probate proceedings and everything, and was titled the executor or PR of the estate. And she has been responsible for the mortgage and the upkeep of the house ever since 2013. Well, the tenant that was in the house was a great nephew, and she pretty much was letting him stay there, and he was supposed to be helping with bills and stuff, but did not do that for like 2 years. And finally she was like, I've had enough of having to take a second job to pay bills and stuff like that. I just want to sell the house. Well, his aunts were mad at her because she had to evict him. So they're the three that are holding out on signing the deed over so that she can sell the house. The other heirs are like, look, we just, want this to be over with. We will sign wherever we need, to sign. And these three are like, we don't have anything to do with it. We don't want to sign. But the bottom line is, it's pretty much just being done out of spite. So, I was told by the attorney before I even put the house on the market, because I wanted to check and make sure, okay, can I actually list this house? And the attorney was like, yeah, we checked, she's, started the estate process with the probate with the court and everything. I put the house on the market, found a buyer for the house, and now we're stuck, with this. So I don't know how to proceed, with 15 heirs saying, yeah, where do we sign? And 3 are like, don't call me anymore. I don't want to have anything to do with this.
Wow.
Whoa.
Are you having fun? Are you having fun yet?
So the decedent passed in 2013, is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
And probate is still open?
Well, she started it back then. So, it was really not anything, to like sell or settle. I guess, the creditors were paid whatever they owed and all of that. So she was just holding, on to the house and taking care of the house in the meantime, because one of the relatives, wanted to stay in the house, which was the nephew. And, she was trying to help him out. But then, he got too comfortable and just totally stopped paying for everything. And she's older now, and she had to take a second job just to pay the mortgage because he wasn't paying anything. And she was like, I've had enough of this. She gave him ample time to get out. He didn't want to find him a place. He stayed there, up until the very end. The house was in terrible condition. She had to get the sheriff to, evict him because he would not leave on his own. So his aunts, this last little group, they're like, I guess wanting her to have let him stay there without contributing. And she's 70 years old trying to work a job to keep the house from going into foreclosure. And she just was like, I just want to sell it. So when she put the house on the market, they're the ones that's like holding on to like, no, we're not signing anything.
So I think that you're going to have to file suit, because you can't be forced to keep your portion of an asset that you don't want. Now, unfortunately, there's a bunch of people that want to keep the house. She's going to have to force a buyout. And the reality is they probably won't be able to buy her out or won't want to. So if she forces her way into a buyout, they'll probably end up selling the property. But I think she's going to have to force it.
So okay, this is my question. As a realtor, and I've already listed the house, we have a buyer, that's just like hanging on and like, okay, I know it's a probate, I'll wait. It's an investor, so he's not really pressing the issue. I mean, I don't know where to go from here. Like, I'm trying to direct her in the direction that she needs to be, like what type of attorney she needs. I've called litigation attorneys,
Well, does she have a probate? Does she have an attorney for the estate?
No, she does not, because that was like in 2013. She was just at this
Oh.
point, the last deal was just like, get rid of the house. So she doesn't have, an attorney. She was just doing it, through the court. So
Right.
what does she need to do as far as like what type of petition does she need to do to proceed with being able to, sell the house and,
So she doesn't have a real estate attorney either. You don't need a real estate.
Yeah, we do have a real estate attorney, but they've told us, like, outside of, helping her with closing the house, that they can't do, this is not their,
Right.
line of, work.
You're
That,
gonna need it, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you're gonna need an estate attorney to help you get over this hurdle.
So Aline, sorry, I agree with that. I think you're going to need a real estate litigation attorney.
Yeah.
And if they have
And
estate
I'm like, I'm
experience, great.
waiting for the, like, is there specific, because I mean, the ones that I've called for, and I've told them this whole, oh, well, that's not really what we do. You need a such and such and litigation attorney. Well, we do litigations, but we don't do that. I mean, that's why I'm like reaching out to you all. Is this some type of special, like, type of litigation attorney? Because I've called like 4 of them for her, and they're like, well, that's not really what we do. You might have to, file a petition with the court, and the judge will probably want you to sell it at an auction, which is not what she wants to do. She wants to be able to continue with the sale of the house like it is. So I don't know. We're in North Carolina, Mecklenburg County. I don't know. Do you know, an attorney, or what type of attorney I can refer her to? Because she doesn't want this to keep going on, and then she will end up not even having the home just because some, relatives want to be spiteful, and then, she has nothing.
Akeisha, email me, Bruce at probatemastery.com. I'm in North Carolina, and I have a real estate litigation attorney.
Okay, Bruce
Yep.
at probatemastery.com.
Yeah.
Okay, I sure will, Bruce. Thank
They
you so much.
they're in Raleigh.
Okay.
I mean, they still have a North Carolina bar license, so they should be should be able to help.
Okay, I appreciate that. That is exactly what I needed. So I'll be emailing you shortly.
Perfect. All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right, very, very good. Hey, Vinny, sorry, saw your hand up there, buddy. What's up?
Hi guys, happy Halloween, happy spooky Thursday to say the least.
There you go.
With that said, I've got a kind of a weird situation at hand. As we all know, COVID hit and life was still happening. I have a client that their mom passed away first, and then their grandma passed away right after, unfortunately. With that said, their evil aunt, or the sisters, or the daughter's sister, ended up suing them for the rights of the home right after the mom passed, thus doing a list pendants. Then COVID hit. Obviously, everything got on pause. With that said, after COVID, obviously, all the banks started attacking. They got the list pendants up, but time was of the essence. So, of which they actually had their grandma's best friend co-sign on the home for an interest gain of $100,000, and it's a 3-year capitalization rate. So it was pulling out, say it was 600, they pulled out 700 for the mortgage. Now it is of time for them to actually transfer it in their name. They did not realize that the time for their mortgage that was up for them to put it in their name was of August. And now we're going to the end of October. They have the mortgage and everything facilitated, but now the owner is in Kuwait. It's hard for them to get in contact. And now they're getting eviction and little notices from the property manager, even though they have everything in place. It's a really awkward situation for me where I don't know how to handle this accordingly. Whereas they do owe technically 3 months back pay plus that other $100,000. But if they were to put it in their name, obviously that would erase everything. Is there a way for them to either like fight against that based off of the probate situation at hand, or do they have to wipe their hands clean and they're going to lose the home?
Hard questions to answer, but go real quick back to the Kuwait issue. Saying hard to get in touch with, is the person in Kuwait a U.S. citizen?
Yes, he is.
And why? What is the difficulty? Is he willing to help?
The problem, yes. So he's a good family friend. He was willing to help and so forth. It was of August 14th that the contract's up. But now, obviously, they have about 2 months of back rent they didn't know about until now, of which now he's like, hey, what's going on? But they're not sure if he's truly willing to help now or not. They've had their realtor contact him, try to contact the middle person involved, email and everything, and it's like he's a ghost. And the property managers are saying they have no idea of such. And it's their family home. It's one of those that's like been in their generational families forever. All of their stuff is still in it. So it's like one of those.
Is he over there? Is he over there working?
Yes, correct. And then they're actually a firefighter as well. So at the time of the contract that got up, they were actually involving with all the fires and all the stuff and all the natural disasters that are going around the world. So
Well, here's the good news. Chances are pretty good, and I only know this because of folks that I know that have worked over there and spent time. You're rolling into the season where most of the people who are expats working over there will be in the States within the next 60 days.
Cool. Okay. That's what
holidays. So you need to get that out to him from the people that matter to him and say, hey, let's get together when you're home. When are you going to be home?
And then my question too, then into that is they're worried about like them getting into like a squatter situation because now it's into 3 months. And they've also invested into the property alone. Like they built a pool themselves while they were going through the contract. They've invested all these like 200,000 of equity. So they're worried about losing this home and then turn into like this squatter situation where they're going to get like kicked out by the sheriff the next day. And then everything that they've invested, it's completely out. Plus,
do they not have the ability to pay the back rent?
No, they have 2 months back rent.
I'm saying you say they don't have the ability to do that?
No, they do not.
How did they afford to build the pool?
They built that. It was built like 2 or 3 years ago when they had the equity to do such.
I got it.
What state are you in?
California, San Diego, California. And I know there's these squatter rights and all these little things that are kind of weird, but they've been into the property for over 30 years, you know what I mean? And squatters' rights are 5 years, plus if they pay the property taxes, as well as show proof of them living, as well as showing that they've actually invested into the property, which they have done such. So I'm like, in a weird pro quo, it's hard to get in contact with the person. We already have the mortgage, everything authorized, and they're getting this like squatter situation.
So who's threatening them? The
property owner. It's the property management. It's a brand new property management team they've never even heard of at all. They thought it was a fake one. It was like called Uplift something. It sounded almost like a fraud. So that's kind of the reason why they kind of ignored it as well. You know,
who's paying the property manager? The guy in Kuwait? I can't hear you, bud. All of a sudden.
Yeah, your sound just went out.
That's an important question. We can't hear you, Vinny.
He's on mute.
Yeah, no.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay. Yeah. So the other thing is, part of their property was for them to pay 3 years upfront rent, a part of the mortgage contract, as well as the property taxes. So they paid it, but it went into his name.
Okay, who's paying the property manager? That's my question.
Oh, the owner in Kuwait.
So the owner in Kuwait is paying the property manager who's harassing them?
Yes, correct. And they say that they have no idea of the situation. And the property manager says that they have no idea like how to contact him at the moment.
Well, the property manager wants to get the property paid. They're not trying to get it sold unless the guy in Kuwait is not exactly, I mean, he could be playing a game here and trying to get the property manager to throw him out, stay low till it gets done, and then take advantage of $200,000 in equity.
Well, that's what I was thinking. And that's my nervous factor, is because they're a good family friend and everything for me too. And it's been a roller coaster for them as it is. So I'm like, I don't want to give him the wrong.
You got to get to that guy, bud. You really, I mean, he's got the keys to the castle right now. He's the owner. You're getting muted again, but I'm just gonna say what I said. You're gonna have to get in touch with him and get an attorney involved in this, but don't serve him. Try to do what I said. Try to do it benevolently by finding out when he's going to be home for the holidays and see if you can put everybody together.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Perfect.
That's my best guess. Anybody else wants to weigh in, that'd be what I'd be trying to do, because I know if in fact he's a straight up guy, that'll fix the problem. If he's not, then you know you're kind of in trouble. They're hung out.
Yeah. Okay.
You need a real estate attorney, man.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Okay.
For sure. But I would say don't hand him papers. Try to, do this benevolently first. And then if not, lay your case out in front of the real estate attorney and see if you got a leg to stand on anywhere. But he would need to review the agreement for the paying the 3 years of rent and the rest of that up front. And if they did all of those things, that weighs against, them getting thrown out, and they can certainly stop the foreclosure without questioning what happened.
Okay, cool. All right.
All right, bud. Hey,
thank you guys.
yeah, that's super. Thank you. So we're getting close to top of the hour, and Dan, I'm going to take your question, and Van as well. I'll get to those in a second. I did say that I would offer up a little suggestion here for Halloween, and what I wanted to say to you is this: it's the end of our month for us as well. Believe it or not, we actually are in business to occasionally make a profit, so Jim can actually afford to expedite the shipment of his Halloween stuff next year, and he'll be, fully clothed and all that. But more importantly, we want to sell some stuff, and we want to help you guys get rolling here. So my little quick commercial to this is that our sales team right now is anxious to take your calls, and Jody is working with them directly. So if you talk to them today, if you call them up and contact our sales team, and you tell them that you're calling for trick or treat, they're going to be able to make you a deal that they would not be normally able to make you. And I'm not going to go into the specifics. I'm just going to say, go trick or treating. We've got some cool stuff going on today, and we urge you to come to our door with your little bag open. Our sales team would love to hear from you. And so go trick or treating with us. We're happy to hear from you. And with that, Van, what's up? Unmute yourself there.
Okay, quick questions.
Yes.
In your opinion, I have my client that actually right now they bought a house through owner finance. They paid the owner for last 3 years in COVID time for last 3 years. Owner never paid the bank. They have not recorded the deed, so they lost to the bank right now. And the seller, owner / is scammer. Make the story short, I tried to help them to buy the house for themselves. However, they had a probate. Her father passed away. The wife of the couple passed away in Ohio. They are in Kentucky. The girlfriend of the passed away person filed for the claim the property. So the wife tried to kick her out and get it. Right now, she have a probate service. So in your opinion, as you see probate people, should we go with the lawyer or should we go with the service? Which is better or it's the same?
Lawyer.
What is the probate service providing?
The service providing is they say, I did not involve that part, but I need to know how I secure collateral with the money to buy them the home in Kentucky. Their problem to start with. They told me, oh, I have probate money coming in. And I say probate. That's why I get involved more into it. But they like, oh, this service is free service. And I'm like, nothing for free. And that's what she told me. And I say, no, let me get the number, let me call them so I know how much the money that you're going to have. So I can help you to secure this house for you. Because I want to buy the house to let you lease to own that one. But I need to know, how do I get collateral on this one? It turned out that it's Arbor probate service.
Don't know them, but sounds like to me that all they're doing is they're moving paper, and you've got some legal issues here. You need an attorney.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so get an attorney for them, because at the end of the day, I need to secure the money for them. So because to me, because I have to get them to have for themselves in Kentucky. That's why. Okay, so I get the attorney in Ohio, in the state, only in the state of the property, a deceased person.
The property is in Ohio and you're in Kentucky, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, where in Kentucky are you?
No, not me. I'm in Texas, but my client, the one, the father of the deceased, the daughter of the deceased is in Kentucky, who need to buy the house, who get scammer the house. So
okay, where in Kentucky is it?
Outside, something very small town. I think the Philpott. Philpott,
Philpott, right. Philpott,
it's a rural area.
A tiny little town. The reason I was asking is we've got folks there that are in that market that might, be able to offer some help, but not in that area. That's a tiny little area.
Yeah,
It's tiny. You need an attorney in Kentucky.
So I need the attorney in Kentucky or Ohio, where the property.
Property is, yeah.
Oh, the property is in Ohio, not Kentucky?
Yeah.
Oh, I misunderstood. Where in Ohio is the property?
Right on the Ohio capital state.
Columbus?
Columbus, yes, Columbus.
Right.
Oh, good Lord.
And I'm sure there are ample probate attorneys, real estate probate attorneys in Columbus.
I talked to the Arbor probate service, and they say they have their own lawyer, but I don't know, because they have as the in-house, I don't know, but they based in Florida, the service. So I have to ask them what's going on, because they told me they get 25% of the cut. Not free, of course. 25%
of what? The probate?
Of the whatever they can get to the client. That's their charge.
It reminds me of, Van, it reminds me of one of those unclaimed property services. It's something people can do themselves. They just want to make a phone call and charge a percentage.
Ask to see the document that authorizes them to act. Ask them to furnish you a copy of the document that authorizes them to act on behalf of anybody that's involved in this. You want to see that.
Okay. But I would just think that, in essence, an attorney is going to be your best bet. In general, I think overall, a lot of the questions that we've had a lot of involvement with law. And it's so important. Like, we have opportunities, like Stephen said, to create relationships with attorneys and utilize those times, and instead of trying to solve every problem, you can help solve your client's problem by directing them to the right attorney. Absolutely. And work in conjunction with them. Where, that's the best thing, because then it alleviates you of overstepping in any legal issues, and you've guided them, and you've secondly created a relationship with an attorney.
So here my client, the couple actually want to buy a house, and they had no down payment. So I told them, I say, you live in the house for last 3-4 years. I know you can pay them monthly. I try to help you to save the house for your name, but I need to know collateral somewhere. At least somewhere for me to know. She told me she had probate money coming in, and she told me, of course, you know, the rural area, they have no idea. They say, but I don't want to accept this service. They give me for free service. And I'm like, no. And she even hesitate to give me the contact number with the service and end up with, it's not free. And I told her,
Right.
I say,
And
listen,
she's already been shamboozled before, right?
Yeah.
At the beginning, you mentioned that she already got taken advantage of at the beginning, where she gave
yes,
her money and it went nowhere.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that track record hasn't worked, and she should work towards working with an attorney, somebody who's legally going to help her out in the best way. It's her best interest.
right now, it might say, I don't know how to move from that service to a lawyer for her, because
So
again,
ask,
Ask the
get
attorney.
in touch with an attorney and ask them that question.
They'll sort it out. The attorney.
Yes.
They will know or should know about that service that's there. And in fact, the one thing that you said that I grabbed onto is that they told you they have an attorney. So your attorney that you find should ask to speak with the attorney of that group. But in addition to that, need to see some documentation from that group. But get out of the middle of this, get an attorney. That's the only advice you're going to get from us about this. You need to do that. Okay?
anyone have recognition for Ohio, Columbus?
Nope.
Attorney?
Unfortunately, I don't, but I can tell you, because of where it is, you'll not have problem doing that. Just go to Google and type in Columbus, Ohio, real estate probate attorney. And you
Yes,
find
sir.
it.
Check with the bar. There may be a bar association in Columbus that can help you with that, to refer you to the
Either
right
way,
people.
great.
And I would say, if they have paperwork from the owner financing deal where they've been scammed by the owner, they also need to provide that to the attorney as well.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so very much. That's my questions.
Awesome question. Thank you very much. Hey, Dan, you're up,
Hey,
buddy.
guys.
Last
How
one
you
of the
doing?
day. Happy
Can you hear
Halloween.
You too. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Hey, just quick question. It's not a biggie. I'm doing a sale for a probate. It's just a retail sale through as a real estate agent. Guy's got some furniture. We used to be able to sell this stuff. Like, I can't get rid of this stuff. Does anybody have any ideas on what to do with it?
Have you had an estate sale?
He doesn't actually want to have an estate sale. So let me just dump this thing.
Mm-hmm.
The hell is going on? Yeah, he doesn't want to have an estate sale at the property. So he wants me to just get rid of it. You know, I told him I had some guys who would be interested in it. I talked to those guys like after COVID, they're like, oh yeah, we charge to come get it, and then we can't sell it. You know, do you have a dining room anymore? You know?
Most people will charge to come get it. You're going to need it. If they don't want to have an estate sale, then you're just going to have to do a clean out.
Yeah, just pay a hauler.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
If
getting
he doesn't
really
want anybody
expensive.
coming in the house, if they don't want anybody coming in the house and buying, the alternative is get a clean out crew, but that's going to cost money.
Yeah.
That's why an estate sale is worth it, or a garage sale is worth it, because it alleviates the money that you're going to have to pay to dump the rest.
Yeah, they're having it cleaned out, but they have a few good pieces, right? They have a
Okay.
dining room set, dining room table, a couple other things, and he wants to sell them. So now I'm at the point where it's like, I may just tell him, look, I have a guy who'll take everything for $500. I'll put it on a trailer and I'll give it away, and just pay him myself. It's part of the cost of doing business. It just seems like even Goodwill will charge you now to come get stuff, and they don't want to take it's a nice table. They just don't want to take it. They have too many of them, I guess.
Well, if it's not too much, you could do like a curb alert, right? You could do two things. You could put it on Facebook Marketplace for 2 days and see if you get any bites. And if not, then you could just do curb alert. Put it out on the curb if it's not too much to take it out of the house for like people, and then just say for free, it's out there.
If that doesn't work, we have a bonfire at the side of the curb, right?
People will take it. Somebody will take it. Otherwise, it's just that much closer to the dumpster.
Right.
Also, talk to if there are churches in the area that look for things like that have thrift stores. There may be churches that have a thrift store that might be interested in doing it, or someone also suggested in the chat that find a consignment store that might take it. But there's effort involved in all of those things. And so it's going to have to happen and can't really get around that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Unfortunately, there's no antiques there. It's just regular furniture. It's nice enough, but it's standard stuff. It's not antiques, so nobody wants it.
Yeah,
And
so I'm
Dan just-
I'm confused. What's your holdup on just going, hey, it's not worth anything, I'm gonna haul it away?
Because I
Is they
told him,
emotional? Is there emotion?
well, I told him, you know, he thinks, right, all these guys, they always think there's a bunch of value in whatever they own. And I said, I have some guys who would be interested in buying it. But once I spoke to those guys, they said, oh yeah, it's not an antique. It's, you know, it's not gold. It's not an antique. There's really no value to it. So I just don't want to disappoint him, because the reason he chose me is because I've gone above and beyond to help him do all these little things.
Right.
I just
I
don't want to
understand.
disappoint him.
But
He
you're
had a,
you're gonna end up disappointing by dragging it out and taking longer. You have to be straightforward with them and say, I really tried. We thought that there's value. It's really a nice piece, but unfortunately, we're not getting any bites.
you made
So,
the best suggestion,
and
though.
be careful, Dan, offering to take the furniture yourself and getting rid of it, because I'm not sure where you are, but by me, there's no way that I could pay $500 to get rid of that much furniture.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so be careful
Well-
what service you offer out of your pocket, and just explain that although it's really nice stuff, we're not going to be able to do it in the time allotted. And especially if you don't want to have an estate sale, that's perfectly fine. But this
Yeah.
is the next step of what we can do.
You made a
Yeah.
good suggestion, Aline, about putting it up on Facebook Marketplace. If he does that and shows it and nobody bites, that's
Yeah.
a clear documentation. There's no value in it, and he's
Yeah.
not saying it. The market is saying it. And tell him, say, go do that, and I'm going to put it up there for you. Going to take pictures and put it up there, and we'll see if anybody does it. If they don't, then our next step is, and it's what you just said. Let's get it out of there.
yeah.
Honesty
I
is
can,
always
you
the
know, I
best
can grab
policy.
it. There's only a couple of pieces. There's a table and then a couple of like China things. I can take them and put them in my storage. You know, I have a big, huge garage at my property. I can put them in there, you know, for a couple of weeks. And if no one takes them, you know, we light them on fire or something, you know.
Ceremonial bonfire.
Right. I just figured I'd throw it out there, right? It's Halloween. Maybe someone had some crazy creative idea. But
Well, truthfully, what Aline said is really a great idea, because that's literally social proof that it's not worth what he thinks
Right.
it is. And you're not doing it, and you're not stroking him by saying, well, I tried and I couldn't get anything. You can say, I tried, I didn't get anything. Here's my last ditch effort at trying to do this. I want to get a couple of pictures of it and put it online. And if that doesn't work, then we're kind of out of options. Here's our next step.
perfect. What you said and what Eileen said was perfect. And I'm going to use those things if you don't mind.
Please.
Find it all.
I figured, you know, even like worst case, if I have to grab a U-Haul trailer for $50 to take the stuff out, I'm still going to make 15 grand selling the property. So if it's 14,500 that I make, you know, it's part of doing business, right?
Tell him you bought it. Tell him you bought it from him for $250. You found somebody that wanted to buy it for $250 and you bought it. Now you're done.
Exactly. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So yeah, it's crazy. You can't give stuff away now. Like it seems like after COVID, nobody wants anything. Everyone's got, you know, who's using their dining room set on this call? Anyone sit in their dining room on this call? Nobody does, right? No one uses their dining. But I have a $15,000 dining room table. I've never sat there.
Oh boy.
What do I do with it? You know, I what am I going to chuck it? You know,
Put it up on Facebook Marketplace. See if anybody will buy it. And if not, you need to get rid of it. Haven't you ever met Marie Kondo?
I just don't walk through that room. I just, you know, when I redid my own house, I never should have kept the dining room. I just should have, you know, made it part of the living room. I was stupid. It was 20 years ago. So
All right,
anyway,
man.
well, thanks for the call, guys. Appreciate it. Good to see everybody.
You bet. Happy Halloween. Jimmy, it's time to boo us out the door, buddy.
One of our longest calls ever, and apologies to Roger and Andy, we never got to you. If it was anything urgent.
Down. They gave up and put their hand down. They didn't.
Yeah, well, Roger took a listing. I think he got a phone call. So I'll tell you what I love about this call, guys. We had 12 people actively participate. there wasn't one theoretical question. It was all based on situations you guys are running into, which tells me you guys are out there taking action. So that's so great. That's so encouraging to all of us and our coaches and the ownership here. And we appreciate you guys. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. I want to particularly thank Scott, Matt, Roger, Kristen, Bill, Lisa, Coley, Andy, Dan, Van, Vinny, and Kesha for actively participating. I want to challenge each of you. First of all, go have a fun, safe Halloween with your kids if you're taking them out. And I want to challenge each of you, just take one of the 12 great ideas we heard today, go out and put it into practice, and please come back next Thursday and share the results with the group. Happy Halloween. Have a great day, everybody. Same time next Thursday. Take care.
Get to go trick-or-treating at alltheleads.com or give us a call. We're looking
That's
forward
right.
to
Drop some leads in your virtual basket.
There you
go. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.